Welcome to Inquisitive Indian channel. Today we'll discuss about the Uniform Civil Code as per the Indian context. In a very layman term, or to put it very simply, Uniform Civil Code means to have a single set of rules or regulations across all the countries which can be applicable to all the citizens who are living inside a country, irrespective of their caste, religion or gender. So to give a fundamental rights to each and every individual. But in a country so vast like India, where we spoke multiple languages, multiple dialects, a lot of culture variation, and we have a different set of religious groups, for example, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jain, Sikh, and so on. So each have their strong own belief system and all set of small rules and regulations which their religious leader try to enforce on their own followers. The religious leaders in India are so strong that even in the British Raj, they fear to enact the Uniform Civil Code in India. That's why they framed religious personal laws, which is specific for Hindu or Muslims, to decide their own domestic matters. So the British have absolutely no influence in religious matter when it comes to marriage, divorce, inheritance or property from their husband or their father, or maintenance in case of divorce. So, but from time to time, there is a growing demand for Uniform Civil Code, which can be seen almost all the past century. Now let us explore a little bit about how various reform has been made when we discuss about Hindu personal laws and Muslim personal laws. In the middle of 19th century, British bring the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act in 1856. Before that, there is a Satidaha Pratha, or if you see even today, there is a child marriage is quite prevalent. But in case of earlier, what used to happen, in case of husband dies, the community members forcefully burnt the widow and they throw into that same, where they burn that corpse of their husband. So think about some brutality happening to a small kid whose husband got expired due to some unwanted or unwanted circumstances. And those people have to burn that small kid who is maybe less than 10 years of age into the fire because her husband died. So we can't even think about that. That kind of custom was prevalent in the Hindu religious community at that time. But during that early 20th century, around 1923 or 28, usually women do not have any control over their husband properties or even their in-laws or even their father's property. So Married Women's Property Act and Hindu Inheritance Act was enacted in the early days. And also after independence, on quite persistence by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and also having good support from our Prime Minister Nehru at that time, Hindu Code Bill passed in 1956 despite strong opposition from Hindu religious leaders during that time. But after this law is passed, the women has got a with the dignity, and they get an equal right when it discussed with the inheritance of properties or divorce and so on. But if you see in that time frame, the Muslim personal laws are unreformed during since long time. Since 1937, there is no much changes into the Muslim personal laws. That is what nowadays a lot of debate and a lot of discussion happening, how we can reform the Muslim personal laws, whether it is needed or not, what is the different opinion from various parties. Now let us see a couple of rules in the Muslim personal law, why it is so controversial. If a husband pronounces talaq 3 times, talaq, 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 so from that moment itself, so he given divorce to his wife, right? So it is still today prevalent. So then no need to go to the court to seek the divorce and wait for a couple of years, and there is no processes. But you may think that this talaq, talaq, talaq in the wife also can pronounce to his husband. But unfortunately, that is not there. Even today, in the Muslim wife or Muslim woman, if he want to divorce to his husband, then he needs to go to court. He have to wait, but it is not applicable to his husband. And let me give an example of one incident which occurred in Orissa, one of the small local villages in Orissa. In one small poor family, there is a quarrel happened between husband and wife, and due to heavy doses of alcohol and under the heavy influence of alcohol, after getting angry, the husband pronounced talaq, talaq, talaq to his wife, and they quarreled for some time in the night, and they fighted and slept in that night. And once the night is over, both husband and wife and forgotten, and they started lead their life thereafter happily. But after a couple of months, the wife started discussing about the same incident that night to one of her friends, and somehow this got spread this message that his husband said talaq, talaq, talaq to his wife throughout the local villages, and it went to their religious leader, Maulana, and the Maulana, after hearing this, they immediately called the panchayat and bring this couple and declared that your marriage is void. So it is not valid anymore as per the Muslim personal law, and you have to immediately, live separately. So those both family members got very scared. Now they approached various court, and this case went even to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court allowed, ordered the state to give them police custody. But this law is so much rigid that once they pronounce the talaq, they can't stay together. And for them to remarry, both wife needs to marry to another husband, and they had to literally have sex with him, and then only he can divorce and again marry to the previous husband. So once husband pronounced talaq, 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 it would be very tough, right? So this is one case of how the divorce can be given by husband to wife. And there is another case of polygamy. By polygamy means one husband till today can have multiple wives. And usually in any developed countries or even in India, for to all other citizens, this is not acceptable, or this is not allowed as per the law, that one guy can have multiple wives. But this is acceptable as per the Muslim personal law. Coming to this divorce case where triple talaq is used, there is one very popular case of Shah Bano. Shah Bano at the time, her age is somewhere around 70, okay, and his husband given divorce to her by saying triple talaq, okay, and she got really worried how she will maintain herself and her kid, because there is no one to give her any kind of maintenance fees. That is the reason she is the first lady who fight against this brutality or injustice happened to her, and she went up to the level of Supreme Court. And Supreme Court, upon hearing her case, given the judgment in favor of Shah Bano. So this is a very major case at that time, because till that point nobody given any overruling on Muslim personal laws. Okay, there is a lot of debate, a lot of people discuss whether this is correct or wrong, or all discussion happened, and the country was energized, and the injustice happened to the women was addressed. But right after that, the Congress party at that time was ruling under the leadership of Rajiv Gandhi. They noticed that they are losing a lot of local elections, and because of fear of maybe losing their strong electoral base on Muslims, or because a lot of opposition from internally, they overrule in parliament. They begin a legislation to avoid the Supreme Court ruling which they given in Shah Bano. So a lot of people feel this is a disappointed, and this is a little bit backward we have gone, where people think that they should have supported. So if you see about the political party, for example, left and BJP support the Supreme Court ruling, but the Congress and all Muslim personal board supported to overrule the parliament. Okay, and from that time onwards, the BJP was strong in BJP and RSS, those kind of political party, given strong emphasis on bringing uniform civil code across the country, whereas Congress and other Muslim leader party are opposed to the idea, saying that to give a better, thought process to the Muslim readers. Now, recently, on September or October time frame in 2016, Government of India filed an affidavit in Supreme Court to re-evaluate this uniform civil code and to ban the divorce, triple talaq, and to give a justification on the to block the ban on the polygamy, which is happening in the Muslim court. So again, the debate discussion started into the political sphere across the India. A lot of people giving the views here and there, and Supreme Court, ordered the Government of India to set up a committee and set up some set of questionnaire which can be asked to the different public group, not only the Muslim or Indian or anybody, just to have a set of 16 questions which can be available over the internet, and I will give a link over in the video. So those set of questions which is very generic to understand the mood of the country, whether we still go with the old traditional personal laws, or it is the time to really go after the uniform civil code. And till today, a lot of political parties are, telling some side of stories here and there, and all Muslim party opposed to having this idea, having a questionnaire, and they denied or they boycott to answer this questionnaire. So let's see how it will be turns out. But they have about the opinion, and we have to show a little bit empathy towards the religious community, and we have to bring them on board how we can move to a liberalized country to implement the uniform civil code with the concurrence from all the stakeholders in place. Thanks very much for watching this video. Have a nice day ahead. Bye bye.